What up, everybody? This is Jason, Zombie Collector, and I'm doing a animal attack video, or in this case, it's evil animals. Now, this was a box that was put out by Shriek Show, which I do not believe is still in existence. But the reason why I picked this up was because of Day of the Animals and Grizzly right here. Devil Dog also is a good movie, and I'll kind of get into this a little bit. But the main reason why is because these first two here are William Girdler movies. Now, you might be thinking, who's William Girdler? And most people would. William Girdler is a Louisville native from my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. And he got his start there making movies, low budget movies, but they, back in the 70s, mostly. I don't think he even made it to the 80s, mostly 70s. I think he only did like 9 films, if I'm not mistaken, that, you could get, movies made, and then local, theaters, distribution companies will put your movie out and get it played in the grindhouses and the drive-ins and things of that sort. And William Girdler made most of his movies in Louisville, in and around Louisville. He did start kind of becoming a little bit of a bigger deal towards the end, and he made a few, I think, kind of like Hollywood movies, but the first 3 or 4 or 5 movies of his career were mostly, if not all, filmed in and around Louisville. So let's talk a little bit about these movies. So first up I want to show is Day of the Animals. I think this is just a one disc movie here. Now, the pedigree of actors in this movie is astonishing. First, you have Leslie Nielsen of Naked Gun fame, Airplane fame. He's in here. He's in lots of different movies, but Leslie Nielsen is in this. I am not even kidding you. It is worth the price of admission to watch Day of the Animals. Now, it's been a while since I watched the movie, but being a William Girdler connoisseur, an aficionado, if you will, I am a huge fan of William Girdler, who is the director of this movie, as well as Grizzly. But Leslie Nielsen, first, the animals in the movie, there is a, I don't know, let's see what it says. Scientists warn that the depletion of Earth's ozone layer is reaching critical levels. It's almost like it's happening all over again. It's just like they've been talking about in the 70s, and here we are in 2021, still talking about no longer the ozone layer, but global warming and the climate change and all that, particularly in higher altitudes. So how critical? Enough to unleash the vengeful wrath of the entire animal kingdom. No human is safe, particularly a group of nature-loving hikers, including Christopher George and Linda Day George, who were like 2 character actor and actresses that were famous in the 70s and 80s. They were married in real life, who are constantly menaced by every conceivable mountain-dwelling creature. Dogs, rats, snakes, hawks, owls, mountain lions, and bears are all out to send a clear message about, what is this here? Portfolio carbon abuse. There we go. Portfolio carbon abuse. Yeah, I just want to make sure I read that right. But perhaps the angriest animal of them all is Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun, like we talked about, Forbidden Planet. I forgot about that. Who fed up with his lively livered companions, takes matters into his own hands. And when I say he takes matters into his own hands, there is a literal scene where Leslie Nielsen, in the rain, rips his shirt off and challenges a grizzly bear to a battle. A real grizzly bear. I am not even kidding you that you cannot make this stuff up. It is literally unbelievable. And you also have a few other people in here. Richard Jekyll is in here, who also is very famous actor from the 60s, 70s, and I believe 80s. Michael Ansara, who Was William Gurley used a couple times in movies, but he also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was Tonto in the Lone Ranger, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I mean, we're talking about ridiculousness. I mean, I love animal attack movies. Those are like probably one of my favorite, along with blaxploitation films from the '70s. A lot of it had to do with like Jaws, kind of kicking it off. And like I said, movies that were before that were common of animal attack films, like you have Hitchcock the Birds and things of that sort. But Jaws really like blew the lid off of animal attack movies. And so then they used every kind of thing they could come up with to give a reason why animals would attack people. In this case, it was the ozone layer. So I'll wait and see. I'm sure in the next few years, we're going to get all kinds of movies from Hollywood saying that, climate change is causing the animals to lose their minds and to attack people. So if you look on the back here, it's kind of funny because you have all these menacing animals except for this little girl and Leslie Nielsen. So, I mean, and the cool thing is, I mean, obviously, everything's done in camera. Everything's done with practical effects. There's no CGI. There's no green screen, nothing like that. So all these animals are really attacking people. Or they use, like, puppets when it gets, like, up close and personal scenes. They use, like, stunt animal arms and legs and teeth and heads and all that stuff. But, it's pretty, I mean, it's good. It looks pretty good. I mean, definitely looking through the lens of the 1970s, I can see how it would have done a good job there. It says, the terrifying movie of the world gone mad. For centuries, they were hunted for bounty, fun, and food. Now it's their turn. But I'm telling you, it is worth the price of admission to see Leslie Nielsen versus a grizzly bear in the pouring down rain, shirtless. It's something that you don't think you ever wanted to see and you never asked for, but you want to see it. Next up is 18 Feet of Towering Fury, and that is the movie Grizzly. Also a William Gurley joint. It says Jaws with Claws, and again, this was made in direct correlation, I guess, with Jaws becoming a famous movie. They call this Jaws on Land. They did everything they could to try to rip off Jaws because, again, it was a huge movie. Like, he did the same thing. Like, there was an Exorcist movie. Well, there was the movie The Exorcist, and he did a movie called Abby, which was basically a blaxploitation film of The Exorcist. And it had more to do with, like, voodoo or hoodoo or whatever than, of course, like the Catholic Church, like in The Exorcist. But it was the exact same premise, all that kind of stuff. And so he did this later with Grizzly because of Jaws. And this, I think, is a 2-disc set. Yeah, so this is a 2-disc set. And so you have Grizzly here. And again, let's talk about some of the actors in this movie. You have Christopher George, again, being used by William Gurley. You have Andrew Prine, who was in lots of 70s movies and 60s movies. You have Richard Jekyll, again, who played in lots of Westerns. Richard Jekyll was very famous in Westerns. I think he worked with somebody like John Wayne and a few movies like that from back in the 60s. You also have Joanne McCall, Joe Dorsey, Charles Kissinger. This, of course, was another William Gurley joint. And here, this one here, let's read the synopsis on the back. When an 18-foot, 2,000-pound grizzly bear starts mauling campers and hikers at a state park, a park ranger, Christopher George, from the movie Pieces, which is a great slasher film, springs into action, but the job is too big to tackle alone, so he enlists the aid of the naturalist Richard Jekyll from the dark, and a helicopter pilot, Andrew Prine, Simon King and the Witches, another great movie from the 70s, to take the freak of nature down. Meanwhile, the giant grizzly, not content with picnic baskets, continues to kill indiscriminately, leaving pools of blood and piles of body parts in its wake. Can the ranger and his cronies and the grizzly end the grizzly's revenge of terror without resorting to excessively extreme measures? Absolutely not. So that means extreme measures must be had to take out this 18-foot of towering fury, because it's just killing everybody in its sight. And when I tell you it's killing people, children, old people, young people, whatever. Like, he's just mauling them all apart, pieces. I mean, there's like you have the fake grizzly arms coming across and fake grizzly head coming and biting people, ripping off their arms. And they use a real grizzly bear in like a lot of the like further out scenes, but when like the actual attacks happening, there's a puppetry involved there. But it's pretty gruesome for and this movie here, I believe, I think both of them, if I'm not mistaken, they were originally released like in PG, and I think these are non-rated now. But when they first were released, it was like a PG because there was like G, PG, and R, and NC-17, I guess, or whatever. There was no PG-13, so there wasn't really an R, but it definitely wasn't a G. So a lot of these movies from back then got a PG rating, which is totally inappropriate. Because even though there wasn't maybe any nudity, there was a lot of gruesome and tough stuff going on. So lastly is this post-Jaws nature run amok or run rampant thriller promises grizzly bear mayhem, and it delivers. Helmed by director William Girdler, Day of the Animals, The Manitou, and Three on the Meat Hook, which is his first movie is Asylum of Satan, and then I think he did Three on the Meat Hook. Grizzly was a box office hit and a top grossing independent film from 1976. So William Girdler, guys, an animal type movie that is absolutely just fantabulous. I mean, like, check out Grizzly, Day of the Animals. You will not be disappointed. These are two fantastic movies. And it's a really well done movie. Like, it's campy. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's not campy, but it is a well done movie. It's not your typical like low budget movie. It's a good movie. It's well acted. It's of course, again, campy, but it's not terrible. It's not shoddy, just like strung together production. It's a good movie. William Girdler ended up was in the process of scouting a location. His last movie was the Manitou. It had like Tony Curtis and Susan Strasberg. It was like his biggest production of that time. And it was like a demon or the devil was on the back of I can't remember, somebody's back. And Michael Ansara was like a shaman, like a Native American shaman or something. And it was like, had some kind of like, like I said, demon on this guy's back, grown out of his back. And Tony Curtis ended up on camera. But after that movie had been released, he was in the Philippines scouting a new location for a new movie. And his helicopter went down with whoever he was with, and they ended up all passing away, unfortunately. So I think he was like in his early to mid 30s, so he was very young. So he was like getting ready to really break out in Hollywood, and he made a lot of these independent, low budget movies. And right when he started getting noticed and started getting like big name actors in the movies, unfortunately he passes. But again, I had opened up for years ago, like 10, 15 years. I had done a William Girdler fan page on Facebook, and I had tons of connections through that. Family members from him contacted me. People that were in his movies were reaching out to me. It was a pretty awesome experience because I was the only one who was doing it, and I have since let it go or whatever, but because it was just too much work to keep up. But I had done it for quite a while. And I try to keep it up, but, life happens, and it is what it is. But definitely check it out, guys. I mean, he is one of the very few directors from Louisville who he's done a lot of stuff, but a lot of people just don't know about him. So I kind of got connected to him because of the Louisville connection. But he has lots of movies out there. Three on the Meat Hook, Asylum of Satan. What else do you have? Right? Project Kill, Grizzly, Day of the Animals, The Manitou, Sheba Baby, Abby. I think that's everything. I might be. He did do another cop movie. I can't remember the name of the. It's something. I can't remember. It was like a buddy cop movie he did also. But anyways, guys, definitely check those out. And then lastly, not to kind of just like brush this off because it deserves a little bit more than just that. This is Devil Dog, Hound of Hell with Kim Richards. And this movie is just hilarious because every time the camera would show this like German Shepherd, if you see back here, there's like this black portal opens up, and he has like glowing gold eyes, and the eyes like make you think the dog is actually like a demonic dog that's like working for Satan, and it's going around like causing people to worship it as it's like heralding Satan into the world or whatever. And it is ludicrous because everybody's having to act scared of this dog, and the dog is like growling and foaming at the mouth. And then all they're doing is like shaking like a steak or whatever in front of the dog, and the dog's just you can tell like the dog's like always looking off in the distance, and they're trying to move the camera around to make it look like he's looking at like a kid or whatever. And this is written really in red and with a black background, so I'm gonna try to read it. The Berry family get themselves a new puppy. So this is their English. A new puppy, and he's just as cute as a button, but the maid isn't so sure. She's convinced that the little Dickens is possessed by the devil. Who knew? You could go get yourself a little puppy, and then all of a sudden it was possessed by the devil. The truth is, she may be right. Lots of unusual and eerie events occur, and no one in the family, not even Kim Richards, nor Ike Eisenman, is safe. It's up to the dad, Richard Crenna from Rambo fame, right? Richard Crenna, there you go, from First Blood, to save the family's souls from the demonic clutches of the devil dog. Whoa. Hound from Hell, there we go. This surprising 1978 made-for-TV movie is now available restored to DVD for the first time, directed by Curtis Harrington from The Killing Kind and Who Slew Annie Rue. So there you guys go. Rambo's like general, sergeant, whatever, has to put the smack down on the devil dog. Not a cute puppy, a demonic devil spawn who is trying to kill this precious little family, the Berry family. So guys, check them out. Right there, you have Day of the Animals, Devil Dog, and Grizzly. I am not even joking you. It is worth your time to watch these movies, especially Grizzly, especially Day of the Animals. Absolutely fantastic movies. A lot of fun, good popcorn movie. Good movie to have in the background just to kind of just laugh and goof off with. I highly recommend these movies. If you've seen them, let me know. Leave your comments below. I really want to know what people think about them. Maybe I want to get somebody on and we can talk about it. That'd be fun to have like a conversation with somebody talking about the movie if they've seen it, because it's so kind of rare and hard to find. So until next time, guys, peace.